t-shirts and a hoodie, now available, plus pins. Head over to the yeti.com/rpglb. Take a look at the designs, pick the ones you want, and know that $4 from every t-shirt purchased will be donated to NAMI. Remember, Yeti is spelled Y-E-T-E-E. theyeti.com/rpglb. And we are ready now. We're going to throw it over. This is MechanalystTom playing SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh, doing a... Nope. He'll let you know what category, because I don't have that in front of me. Let's go right on over. Take it away, Tom.
Hello, hello. Welcome, RPG Limit Break 2022. I am MechanalystTom, and I will be speedrunning SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamek, any percent. This game is from the other SteamWorld Games developers, Image and Form Games. They had one other previous try at a RPG in SteamWorld Heist in kind of like a 2D tactical style. And then they came out with this one, which is a lovely, more linear RPG, but kind of using card-based and deck-building techniques. So kind of think Slay the Spire, but in the form of a regular RPG. And yeah, again, thank you so much for already hitting the Duck Truck incentive. That is incredibly kind. I recognize quite a few of those names that donated, so thank you so much. That's going to be a lovely little mini-boss that we're going to see about an hour and 15 minutes or so into the run. And thank you to my lovely commentator Piplup for joining me on just such short notice. Such a great fellow. Always the bestest boy. All right, let's get this started. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, our story starts off with our Millie, our warrior, and Copernica, our mage, just going on a lovely little jaunt in the forest, searching for some magically infused mushrooms for Copernica to do some research with, and we're already thrown immediately into the first fight of the game. And this is the only fight in the game where our deck and our hand is going to be 100% consistent. Every single time we draw up to 6 cards in our hand, and we have 2 redraws per turn. So we're kind of gonna have to pay attention. Not so much this one. This one's guaranteed. We already know this is going to be a 2-turn fight, nice and easy. But from here on out, all of the hand draws are going to be completely random. And that is unfortunate. Ideally, we want to see 3 green crafting materials there from that fight, but we only got 2, so we're going to have to take a quick extra fight here. No worries. We need that material to craft another card coming up in Chapter 3. But just a smidge short, and that is perfectly fine. It costs us only like 30 seconds or so to do this fight. It's the exact same fight as the last one. And hopefully we can get some good cards to rinse and repeat exactly what we did last time. And that actually gives me a chance to showcase that you can engage fights ahead of time by smacking the enemy. And that actually lowers their HP by about 10%. So this fight actually was easier than the last one. And there we go. Now we got plenty of green material. We're introduced to our lovely statue. This is our save point. Kind of operates like the bonfires in Souls, where fully heals you, but it does respawn all the enemies. We'll use those for occasional heals here and there. As well as it's a good story thing. That's Gilgamek, the fabled hero that saved the entire world, and the world's kind of at peace at the moment, so everything's pretty chill, to be honest. Pretty chill, except for the occasional very big mushroom man that we now have to face. Not too difficult of a fight. It's kind of just a... Oh, boy. Kind of just a first tutorial fight. We don't really have to worry too much about dying here. It's going to give us lots of tutorials on status effects and stuff like that. We're just kind of going to keep cycling through all of our damage, or all of our cards, to try and keep up with what we're wanting to do this turn, and then what we're going to want to do the next turn and the following turn. So you see me recycling a lot of the mana barriers, because we don't have to worry about our health too much in this fight, so I'm just redrawing them as soon as I can to try and get better cards for the next one. Okay. And now that they summoned little ads, we want to take those out as soon as possible to save ourselves some time. You can see also there's another mechanic here. We got this steam gauge at the top of our screen. Our cards cost a certain amount of steam or generate a certain amount of steam. So basic cards like attacks and stuff, those will just generate steam, and then our more powerful cards will use that steam. And you can see the boss also has a steam gauge underneath them that they will use to charge up attacks of their own, which in this case is another wave of ads spawned right here. So we already have our flame wave ready to go. And unfortunately, we don't have enough to quite take down, but we'll take this down next turn. Okay, that should be it. That is the first boss fight down. And as you saw with those levels up, this game has a pretty unique level up system in that every single time you level up, you only gain points into a singular stat. We just got a bunch of HP upgrades there. But every single time we get something like a strength upgrade or a magic upgrade, it is going to be a significant increase in our damage. And it's so significant that we're going to be underleveled almost immediately. Because if we would get one more level up here, we'd probably have about 50% more damage output, but that extra level would take another fight, and fights are slow. Also, what would an RPG be if we come back to our peaceful home village and it was on fire? But these fine gentlemen will put it out, I swear. They look like the fire brigade. See, they're rallying. They're rallying. They're going to put out the fire real soon. All right, gents, time to put out that fire. Uh-oh. They might not be the fire brigade. Turns out they might be the bad guys. Who could have guessed people dressed up all in unison are the bad guys? This is another pretty simple fight. We just really don't want to see one thing in particular. We do not want to see Intimidate. Intimidate is a very, very annoying ability that lowers our strength. We have our Millie, and she has the capability to buff herself, but now her buff is now countered out by that Intimidate. So that literally causes this fight to take one fight or one turn longer. So there we go. Nice and easy one. And now we get our third party member, Galleo. He's a great supportive character. Very good defenses, very good debuffs. And now we can do a little bit of deck building. And unique thing about this game is with your party members, every single party member must have 8 cards, or 8 cards in the deck. No more, no less. So we have to try and plan out our deck accordingly for all the cards that we want and the probabilities that we want them by having multiples of the same card when possible. And we're already on to the next boss fight. And how I was mentioning that we're already underleveled, this boss fight can be unfortunately, a bit of a slog. Because if we were to get one level up, our Millie would have 50% more damage, so would Copernica. But that fight takes about a minute, and it doesn't save about a minute to do that fight. So we just kind of have to slog our way through this with our small amount of damage. We got one little strategy we have here. You can see Copernica currently has a mark on her. That means that the boss is going to target all of their attacks at her, and if possible, we wanted to shield her. That way, 1, she wouldn't take that much damage, and 2, that the sapping strikes that the boss is using don't actually heal them. It needs to do damage to our actual HP and not shield HP in order to do damage. And now that we got a defense drop from Galleo onto the boss, we're going to go in as much damage as possible on our melee and really hope that we don't see any more of those nasty drained strengths from the boss, because that just slows us down. And there it is. Thank you, Canary. Always appreciated. I would have liked to shield, but our hand draws have not been the greatest. But yeah, this is a very, very adaptive speedrun. We have all the strategies that we really want to pull off, but whether or not we're actually going to be able to pull them off is a different story, depending on what the game is going to give us in our hand at any given moment. So we have to do our best and adjust on the fly to what we're given. And also, another thing that we've been seeing this fight so far are combo cards. If during your turn you use 3 of the same character's card, they get an extra card that they get to lay, and that card is dependent on the weapon that they're using. That card's dependent on the weapon they're using. Copernicus currently just gives a full party shield. That's very useful. Keeps us nice and safe. Galeo's is, okay, well, keeps us nice and safe as as she gets down. But that's perfectly fine. Luckily, in this game, if a party member is downed, they still get full XP at the end of the fight, so we don't have to worry about losing any XP. And it shouldn't slow us down too much here. Just need to be able to dish out a few more hits. Unfortunately, when a party member is down, their cards are completely useless in your hand, so you can't even use them. Alright. And there we go. On to Chapter 3. And we're just gonna, in the story, just keep on chasing down that captain there. That seems to be our goal, to make them pay for all the damage they did to our hometown. And now we get our first glimpse of crafting. This is what we needed that green material for before, so we could craft poison. Status effects are fantastic in their game, and in this game, and they're useful pretty much throughout the entirety of the game. I love the fact that status effects are so reliable and such a consistent source of damage for the entire game. It's very different from many other RPGs where it just feels like they really are very hit and miss. But now we gotta take care of some bees. We're also, like, as we're walking through the world and stuff, we kind of have to pay attention where enemies are placed and try and walk around them. We obviously don't want to engage in fights if we do not have to. So we're going to be taking some fights that are extremely obnoxious to dodge, and we will be dodging as many as possible. We got actually very lucky on the fight coming into this room. In that 3 stack of enemies there really needed to do a very specific type of movement in order for me to get past. It's probably like 25% chance, and we got that first try, which is very, very nice. Also, this game is very fast. We're already gone to the 3rd boss fight. Onto the Queen Bee, and now that we have poison, we're going to want to keep that up as long and as often as possible. And I'm actually kind of trying to avoid some combo cards here in this fight, or in many of the fights. Just because they do take up time. It's not much time, but it's enough where I'm just like, yeah, if we don't have to, we don't really want to. But pretty much only this fight, or only the previous fights, are kind of the ones where we want to do that. From then on, it's very, very useful to be using combo cards almost constantly. So, all right. Now that bee has done an evasion, we'll hopefully just be able to... Okay, that is actually fantastic. We're going to get a big turn of fantastic damage next time. Our melee's got all 3 powerful cards in hand. We got the steam for it. And the debuff is already on the enemy. So we're just going to do 3 massive smacks. If we get a crit, they are extra, extra nice. Crits are 50% increase multiplier after everything has already been calculated. This game has some pretty unique and fantastic methods to additively stack strength and multiplicatively stack strength. And we can do big multipliers later in the run that are going to be fantastic to see. Unfortunately, we were not able to get much of our poisons back, so we weren't able to finish this bee off quite so quickly. But they will be done in no time. And luckily, I think only that mushroom pretty much was the only thing that really required us to defeat all of the ads. I think the majority of bosses like this in the future, we just can ignore them. They'll do damage, but we can shrug it off perfectly fine. And goodbye, bee. And we are level 6, and that is the level we are going to be going into the next boss fight. Also, as you can see, we're very much in peacetime. This is the Heroes Guild. They did turn it into a golf course. They are pretty chill and not really equipped to deal with this brand new surge of ne'er-do-wells. But yeah, we're going into Chapter 4, and this is the first chapter where it will be very, very apparent we are underleveled. We should probably be about level 9 going into the next boss fight, and we are level 6. And that level gap is not going to get any better for us. But luckily, we've had poison already, and now we got a new weapon for our melee. That is another combo card that will use bleed onto the enemy. Bleed works pretty similarly to poison. Poison is just like a percent max HP damage onto the enemy at the end of the turn. Bleed is about half damage as poison is, and it does physical damage rather than just a flat damage. But it activates every single time the enemy lays a card. So a lot of bosses will be playing 2 cards every turn, so bleed will be pretty much identical damage to poison. So if we can keep them both up the entire time, that is what we're going to want to do. Because we are going to be not doing much damage coming up. And we are chasing down more of those soldiers, trying to keep on their heels, and they got into some trouble themselves. Got hit up by some bandits in this cave. And now we're going to be doing lots and lots of dodging. So to be honest, we probably got a bit of time for donations, Ashen, if you got any.
Oh, we do have a few here ready to go. First off, we have Spunky with $10 who says, "So happy to see you doing this run at a marathon, Tom. Love you tons."
Love you too, Spooky.
We have Vietra who donated $25 who says, "Thanks to all the runners and the organizers." And Harper has donated $100.
Ooh.
They say they grew up watching my brother play the Ultima series. Here's $100 to name the Ultima 4 avatar Selen, a common fantasy name he used frequently. I love you, big bro. And we appreciate that going in for the naming bid there. As a reminder, there are a lot of bids and incentives that you can put your donations towards as you submit them on our website. One of the ones we're most excited about coming up later today, the Final Fantasy X Skip Showcase. Final Fantasy X is going to be run by an AI task. We've actually had that task running on site and training the AI. It's been really cool to see. And this incentive is to show off some major storyline skips via precise movement and glitches. We are looking for a pretty high bar here. We're hoping for $3,000 in order to be able to show that off. And currently we're sitting at 55. So, as you are getting your donations in, make sure that you're putting them towards your incentive. And if you didn't have one in mind already, well, this Final Fantasy X Skip Showcase is one that we are really excited to see and hoping to get some more donations in for.
All right. Thank you so much for those donations, and we are right into the next boss fight, and this is the first incredibly difficult boss fight. We are very underleveled. This duo of enemies is very dangerous. The top one, Clayton, loves to use status effects all over the place. And we don't. But we want to keep our statuses up as much as possible. We want that poison. We want that bleed. We're going to have Copernica do lots of shielding for us to keep us nice and healthy from these status effects and everything. As well as we got a new card that we're utilizing on Copernica called Electrolyze. It is a fantastic card. Electrolyze makes it so that we draw an additional card for the next turn. So it makes it a bit more safer, a bit more generous on getting out all the card combos that we want to get out. And we're starting off here. Oh, thank goodness. Keeping up all of our status effects as much as possible onto Clayton. We want to get rid of them ASAP because they're the one that causes all the nasty status effects, as well as soon as they go down, Puppy, the big lad down there, will finally stop doing really nasty stuff. I.e., it will not cast regen on itself right now. So if we would even put poison on to Puppy, it would just heal it all away. So we're just going to focus down Clayton ASAP. And we wanted to keep those status effects up, especially through that last Steam ability that Clayton used. That Steam ability gives them basically 50% evasion. So we want to make sure that we had our status effects up beforehand so that they would continue to do damage while we basically could not hit the enemy. And luckily, I'm hoping with all this extra damage, fortunately, bleed also works against us really well. Our Millie's taking 4 ticks of bleed damage because of all that. Clayton should be done next turn. I'm going to keep everyone nice and healthy here so that we got poison ready to get put onto Puppy as soon as Clayton is defeated. There we go. Now it's time to deal with the big lad. Which this fight, unfortunately, is not over coming up here because now that Clayton is gone, they get a 50% attack boost, meaning every single one of their hits is going to be doing at least 40 damage, which is a lot for how low HP we have. And then when they do their full Steam attack, that is 40 damage to the entire party. But luckily, we've actually, we're sitting pretty good right now on, we're sitting pretty good here on our HP. So we've been able to keep up our shields. Yeah, we should actually have a pretty safe time here. Just need to keep up our status effects and keep dishing out the damage as much as possible. We got a bit of a glut of Steam at the moment, so I'm probably going to start just really pushing for all of our high Steam damage cards, so that we can hopefully finish this off faster. Copernica's already taken lots. Okay. Keep those status effects up. But yeah, Copernica takes 2 more hits here. She'll go down. And also a lovely little thing that makes this fight even harder. We have precisely 0 healing items that will bring a party member back from the dead. So if they died early in this fight, we just have to deal with their useless cards and everyone else taking all the brunt of the damage for the duration of the fight, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do against this. Also, now that Puppy's down below half HP, gets a 50% defense boost too, so it even takes less damage. Oh. Luckily, this should do a big chunk, and then hopefully with the bleed and poison, it should be done next turn. Because I'll just do as many Steam cards as I can get my hands on, which is not many, but that should be good enough. Actually, no, it's not. Dang it. Also rude. Alright, there we go. Now the big boy is done. And we're past the first tough fight of the speedrun. And you can tell how underleveled we are, because we're going to get nearly 3 full levels from that one fight. On to chapter 5. We saw this guy captured on a cage earlier. This is Auric. This is Gilgamech's second in command, right-hand man, sidekick. All of the above. The great hero, or great sidekick, kick to the great hero who saved the world. And just casually was tossed into a cage by the enemy. So he set him free. We might see him again later, maybe. Also, don't mind how this merchant got their carriage underground. They're incredibly skilled. But now we get to see a lovely chapter. There is no boss fight in this chapter, but we get to see some of the RNG nonsense with this chapter. We're going to be dodging as many enemies as possible. And sometimes we just need them to face the correct direction so we can run past. So we're just going to reset the room a bunch to have them hopefully cooperate better. And now we see some scrolls that seem to have been from the academy where Copernica was trained. Mayhaps they are also taking part into some nonsense. Get a couple treasures here. Got this lovely ancient sword, which would be a pretty nice and safe damage increase for our melee, but it doesn't do bleed, so we're just gonna sell it. Money is routing in this game is very, very tight, so we need as much as we can get, and that's a free 1,000 gold right there. Oh, hey, look, Eric's caught in the cage again. And he's so thankful the second time that he joins our party, our 4th party member. But we can only have 3 in the party at any given time, so Auric's just gonna stay on the sidelines for a bit. We used to, actually, or I used to, have Auric enter the party immediately because he will be absolutely crucial to the second half of the game. But as of right now, he's actually kind of useless, so we're just gonna stick with our main party for now. And also, speaking of changes that we've done recently, we've shaved off in the past few months 10 minutes off the world record of this. It has been a fantastic thing to see. Also, we unfortunately got the bad fight here. This mage is who we do not want to see. It can be a slime and a mage or a slime and a bomb. The bomb, we can just ignore, and the bomb will just blow up, and we don't have to worry about it. But unfortunately, this mage is not so kind to us. We want to get rid of this mage. Ooh, nice crit. That guarantees the kill. But now that that mage is out of the way, we can just deal with this slime. But yeah, the bomb, we usually just let it blow itself up on us. We don't really care. But the mage can cast Berserk. It can cause a massive attack decrease on our melee. Very, very frustrating things that we don't want to see. But luckily, we should be done here in just one more turn. And also, we haven't added it to our deck yet, but we did get a card at that locked gate, Fixer for Auric. That is a one-time use card per fight, and that card is just a massive increase in Steam. But it also has the unique capability in that it does only get used one time per fight. Meaning it is one of the very few cards that we can actually deck thin our hands with. So this gentleman really needed... I really wanted you to go right. Like I said, this chapter is very RNG intensive. We really just have to rely on enemies just cooperating and going the correct walking directions and stuff like that. Nice, these gentlemen cooperated. Now, one other direction we gotta go here. And these two never like to cooperate. Need them to separate. Stop walking towards me, though. Thank you. If they're low enough, I probably could have just skirted around the top there, but it's a risky one, and it's really difficult to tell visually. Please face to the right, sir. Oh, no! Oh, thank you. Alright, and it doesn't matter if that guy faced us. We are fast enough to walk around. for. Luckily, we don't have to do anything here. Oh, love to see it. Haven't shown off the having to do it yet, but if the room is long enough, we can leash an enemy to the other side, and eventually they will reach the end of their leash and go walk back to their resting spot. So we can use that to drag an enemy away and then walk around them as they're walking back, because we're faster. And we are done with Chapter 5. And on to the big, big difficulty spike. So, the weapons we got by a meteor fragment that increases Copernicus fire damage by 25%. That is just flat, and it is excellent. Bannerbearer Book Bash for that. Fixers for Steam Punch. Flip, Scout Badge. Scout Badge, let's go. This fight is the massive difficulty spike in casual speedrun, or casual playthrough, and this speedrun. These two have very, very nasty status effects that they love to pull off. Captain Canary on the bottom here loves to cast Confuse on an enemy and does massive damage. Luckily, we didn't see any paralysis from that roar for the dragon, because that can cause paralysis on the whole party, and that is incredibly annoying to deal with. We're going to keep Copernica safe here, because Copernica has the lowest HP. We're going to need as many shields as possible. We really want to keep our statuses up the entire duration of this fight. Oh, that is an annoying confusion. Okay, I'm going to have to heal that off. Luckily, we had enough money beforehand that we can heal off some of these status effects, but it's really difficult to manage the status effects as we're going into this fight. Because healing a status effect, the healing items count as a card. So, if we really want to dish out a combo card, we can't do that in the same turn that we use a healing item. So it makes it very frustrating, especially when our melee is the one that gets the status effect. And extra... Extra poisons are also very useful to get on the dragon right away. Eventually we'll have to take down that dragon. So it's best to get all that poison on as much as possible. Copernica's not doing great. We have one healing item that we can use to bring Copernica back from the dead. And I'm actually gonna play it a little safe here. Get Copernica a little heal here. She's gonna take a big brunt of damage because she is targeted. Okay, and she is a good target for confusion, so that is perfectly fine. Copernica will probably go down, but because the other two are so healthy, I think I'm just going to keep up the damage here. And no paralysis from the roars so far has been amazing. Copernica will most likely go down here, so let's just really try to take down the Canary, which I think should be down with this damage and the statuses. There goes Copernica. 3 damage. Okay, that's fine. Do that. And no poison, unfortunately. But, okay, hard part of the fight is done. We just have to deal with this dang dragon. We really need to get some more HP if we can. Good. Okay, now we should be pretty safe here. Now it's just building up our statuses again and doing damage with Copernica, actually. Copernica is going to be our main damage dealer against this dragon, because this dragon really has high defensive properties against physical attacks. So bleed doesn't do that much damage. Our melee doesn't do much damage. Roar is a physical strength reduction ability. So our melee really doesn't do much damage against this dragon. Versus every single fire pillar from Copernica is probably going to do about 100 damage. So very, very useful. Also excellent that we got that back. And just keep Galleo alive, because now that we use that revived kit, we don't want Galleo dead, because poison's our main damage source against this dragon. Luckily, the roar has worn off, so our melee can get a good chunk of damage here as well. Get that bleed on. That is probably going to be annoying to deal with later. We'll deal with that next turn. Paralysis is a 50% chance that our card's just not going to do anything. So we really want to make sure that that's off and not going to interfere with our plans. And then Confusion makes it so that you can hit any random target, even allies, so that's an even worse status effect. Actually. Want me to just slide on over? Or...
Just shift you over. You're
You
being
got it.
well illuminated by the sun, but that makes it hard to see the screen. We'll
That
just
is
shift you a little bit out of the way.
very, very fair. No worries. We are done with the fight, and we got like 30 minutes of downtime, so you want me to shift over? You tell me.
Sun has found that one crack in the blinds that always wakes you up in the morning.
Absolutely. Okay, we are done with that very, very difficult fight. That was actually a very kind fight. Usually we have to deal with much more paralysis. That paralysis can hit the entire party if it wants to, and dealing with that turn is really terrible. As well as it really drains our stock of healing items. And again, money is very tight. We want to keep a hold of those because there are quite a few fights in this game where we are going to have to pay very close attention to who has status effects on and what we want to do in the coming fights. But now that we made that Captain Canary run away, we are investigating the Academy. That seemed to be up to no good. Get an upgraded weapon for Copernica, upgrade her fire pillars because we now have the capability to upgrade cards. That upgrade's the only upgrade we're going to do until pretty much the end of the game because we need to conserve as many materials as we can. And we're up to, saw a couple little brats there. They locked the door on us, so we have to go break the magical lock that they put on the door. Using a special thing that is found in this woods. And this is our lovely little Lost Woods / whatever Forest of Illusion that you want to call it. Our hint is the little blue butterflies telling us where to go. But as well as normal for hidden forests, if you double back on yourself, you sometimes find a new place, and we got a lovely 1,000 gold just by going back on ourselves. Got our piece of material to break the lock, and we've annoyed the royalty, and the Slime King is gonna come face us down. Got pretty much same strat as we've always been doing. Get our bleed on, get our poison on, and now Copernica does a fantastic amount of damage, actually. So her fire pillars, instead of doing 100 damage that they did during the last fight, are now doing about 180. Almost double damage because of all the levels up, that 25% fire damage boost. That 25% fire damage boost, and we also got her a new weapon. Does a little wave. It's not as safe. Also, it landed both paralysis, which is actually not ideal. We actually don't want that paralysis. That paralysis is unfortunately slow. Also, unfortunately here we are a bit off cycle. We didn't get enough Armilli cards to keep up our bleed. So instead, we're just going to keep the poison on early and start the cycle over with Armilli and then into Copernica. And lucky for us, this slime likes to use its split ability that it uses to make other smaller allies, but it can only make up to 2, so it just keeps wasting time wasting a turn whenever it decides to try and do that. Wow, I'm getting so many paralyses from the Thunder Wave from Copernica. That only has like a 20% chance of happening. And usually it never happens at all, so, I mean, we'll take it. Alright, just a couple more turns here, and this slime should be down for the count. Got a bunch of steam, so hopefully we get some Brave Busters. That should be it. Beautiful. Because we're fighting the duck truck later, I'm actually going to do a little change of strat here. It's something I probably should do in regular runs, because it really helps out in boss fight in a couple chapters, but I'm going to go and purchase the Blind Side card for Galleo that causes blind on the enemy, which makes their attacks do have 50% chance to hit the target. It is a great card. Usually our money is pretty tight and I don't get it, but we're fighting an extra mini boss, so we should have more than enough money to make up for it. Now we're into the academy proper, and heck, they've closed off the bridge for us. The jerks. Who could be causing so much dismay? None other than our high school bullies. They're jerks. The bottom one is even more a jerk than the top one, so we're going to focus the bottom one first because they can get Smoky Aura on the party, which is just a full party 50% evasion, and it's incredibly frustrating when that happens. So we're going to try and land what we can. Build up steam for later. Come on, poison. Yes! Luckily, it only lasts a couple more turns. Alright, land the Brave Buster, please. Dang it. Okay. That enemy's down at least, and the Smoky Aura is gone here. Now, this top one is very weak to fire, so we're gonna give him some fire. Jerk. Okay. Alright, that should be it. Not too bad considering that Smoky Aura came out, but that Smoky Aura always costs us like a turn or two, because it's just have to deal with the RNG now of whether our attacks will hit or miss. And that is pretty much all we've got to do for this entire chapter. We just kind of do a run around, get one more card, and that's it. So, Ashen, if you got any donations or anything you want to read off, we got a good couple minutes.
Well, thank you so much. We do have some wonderful donations here. First one from Killer Chair, who has donated $10. Good to see my brother in Fast doing what he does best. Good luck on the run, Tom. Also, thanks to Piplup for the expert commentary to accompany the run.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chair.
Dr. Fat Caddy, who has donated $20. So cool to see you do this, Tom. You got this.
Thank you, Caddy. All of my lovely people coming out today and donating. I sincerely appreciate it, donating for such a great cause.
Yes, and we have $50 from Nazarene. Says, I played SteamWorld Quest on Switch when it came out and loved it. Glad to see it get a run here at RPG Limit Break. Hopefully Tom gets the card draw he needs, and let's kill Lord British. And that is in reference to another bid incentive we have going for actually the next run, which is Ultima 4, Quest of the Avatar. There is an incentive to kill Lord British during the Ultima 4 run. It is a $1,000 incentive. We're currently at $920, so we're just $80 away from meeting that incentive. So go ahead and get your bids in for that or for any of our wonderful incentives that we have coming up.
All right. We're into the center of the academy now. Got ourselves a lovely little accessory there. Gives us an 8% crit chance. Or an additional 8% crit chance, which is lovely. Bumps us up from basically 1 in 20 to like 1 in 8. Very handy when we want some crits for a little bit of extra damage. And we're into a little bit of a teleporter maze. Gonna head down. We're out of revive kits. We're gonna grab a couple more really quick. just in case the worst comes to worst. Usually the next few boss fights aren't too much of a problem, but oh, they can be. Because we're on to dragon number 2. This dragon's a jerk. This dragon loves to put party members to sleep, making them not be able to do anything for 1 to 3 turns. And this dragon can also put blind on the entire party. It is incredibly frustrating to deal with. And this is why I'll probably end up doing this much more often in runs going forward, putting blindside onto the dragon so that their stuff can have a chance of missing. So again, we want to keep those status effects up as much as possible. This dragon is very weak to fire, so when Copernica has a free turn and we don't really have to do our statuses that much, we do want to get out those fire pillars. But unfortunately, this dragon is being a jerk and put Copernica to sleep already, so she can't do anything. And then hopefully, Copernica gets... Oh, okay, that was actually very lucky. Blindside coming in strong. That is the move that can... that can cause blind on the entire party, and it actually didn't cause blind on anyone, which is very, very lucky. Either because it missed, or because the blind is not a 100% proc rate. Unfortunately... let's see. Gonna do this. Get some damage in. I would have liked Armilly to be awake to re-up that bleed. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We got enough time here. No. Wrong target on that ointment. Onto Armilly. Get the poison on. Try for whatever damage you can get on the fire pillars. That's why we don't want to try fire pillars through bleed. 1 of 3 hit, and that was it. Get that bleed back on. Unfortunately, this is not a blinded Frost Breath, and it applied blind to everything. As expected. Okay. Should be done in a couple turns here, though. Dragon is near done. The statuses will do lots of work. Give me a fire pillar, please. Thank you. And we're done. Annoying dragon is defeated. Blindside doing some great work at keeping us nice and safe and giving us some ease off on those status effects. And now we get the twins. Those 2 little punks that locked us out of the academy are now our final party members, and they are one half of the other key that's gonna really unlock our potential coming up in the next chapter. They are excellent debuffers. Orc's kind of like a stance type of person. Does great single target damage and can... Ooh, nice. That dodge is like a 1 in 8 chance. Very nice that happened right away. But yeah, Oryx kind of like stances. He can have a stance where he heals a bunch. He can have a stance where he does a lot more crits. A stance that defends him, stuff like that. And the twins are more so... glass cannon and debuff, so they do a massive amount of damage and do lots of status effects, lots of debuffs, and also put on a curse, the only real curse that we can get in this game, and that is the card that we just picked up there, Doom. That is a crucial card for the rest of this speedrun. Also, this is a very slow leash. Because they have to walk all the way over here in order to reach the end of the leash. Hi, Slime. Okay. Let's see if we can... Nope. Not sneaking past there. We'll just lease both of these enemies up to the top. And sneak past. A little slow. We want to have it so that we can just walk in between them. But again, a lot of these dodges are just pure RNG. Want these 2 gents to separate. Can we get them on the way back? Oh, you're snug. Okay, we're good. 2 final dodges here where we just need the enemy to face the correct direction. Good. That was honestly a pretty solid chapter 9. All right, on to Chapter 10. We got lots of menuing here because we're finally going to swap up our party. No more Copernica, no more Galleo. Copernica is going to see a couple fights later, but Galleo is not going to see any other fights for the rest of the speed run. 80 Stone, Craft, Hot Iron, and Venom. Bushido, Dex, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Bushido for masks, Eclipse, Spike Collar for Journeyman, Opus Magnum, Unequip, Spike Collar, Hades Stone, back to party. Alright, now we get to see a new method of getting poison onto the enemy. We're going to be using the twins, and they have an Envenom card, which makes any physical attacks from that party member have a 50% chance of landing poison. It is inconsistent and annoying, but it's the best we can do with keeping the twins in the party. We still want to get bleed from... Oh, that is bad hand. We still want to get bleed from Armillia as soon as possible, but we basically have only one card that's going to be using Steam now. So we're going to be building up as much Steam as soon as possible. That's actually a pretty good hand. So we got 3 chances here to land our poison. 1. There we go. Beautiful. Don't lock our Millie. Jerk. Shoot. You know what? I'm just going to do this and end my turn. That was very, very unfortunate. We wanted Darmillie to get a bleed out, and we didn't really have any cards that I wanted to trash. And I almost just ruined my bleed chance, but we're good. Okay. Got our bleed on. This enemy has a ton of HP. That equalizer causes us to have the same amount of HP across the board. But now we can see Doom. Doom is a % max HP arcane damage proc on hit. And we... Oh, of course you did that. Okay. Okay. Well, this is awkward. But as you can tell, if it's on hit, that means we want to do as many hits as possible. And we have just such a method to do so. We have Auric Cyclone Slash, so give it some crit chance and do a lovely 4,500 damage there. Oh, just barely alive. That's okay. We should be able to do that much damage. Hopefully this kills. If it doesn't, then we are going to be... we should be good. This bleed proc should do it. And we're done. So that Doom Cyclone Slash combo is going to be our bread and butter for many boss fights moving forward. But unfortunately, we do have to deal with the Envenom poison possibility rather than the guaranteed poison that Galleo could do, just because we need the twins to have that Doom out. And there is one alternate way that we could get poison out, but it is it's difficult to have that much gold for it. And we have to sacrifice other things for it that I just tend to go with Envenom. And now time for the worst dodge in the entire game. These two need to separate in a very specific fashion. And they are not doing so, please. I could have done it there. Maybe here. Okay. No! I was standing too close. These two need to separate. I need to walk in between them. And then kind of hide in a little nook by a rock. Just walk. Just separate. Just separate, you two. This fight takes like 2 minutes to do, so like no matter how poorly this goes, we save time overtaking the fight, but still, this is such an RNG point in the run. Okay. Okay, that guy stopped too soon. Oh, maybe. Looks like we got it here. Beautiful. That dodge is always so frustrating. Luckily, we don't have to do too much for the rest here. We just need to have that guy look away. And as much as we're using pretty limited strategies for the speedrun, increasing the difficulty on this game would massively change the strats that we use, as well as casually. There's so many neat strategies that you can do. You're seeing just a small smidge bit. Also, I like this dodge. Do a little do-si-do around the tree. Okay, deck change. Give confusion immunity to the twins, as well as Zephyr Cape, which is like a 20% dodge chance on everything that the twins now have, which is great because the twins have very little HP. Okay, let's get this poison. Thank you. Poisons have been very kind, at least. Oh, of course you landed the confusion on our melee. That means I can't get bleed this turn. That actually is going to work out for me, because that means I can get Envenom on our melee to have our melee try for a poison chance for a nice refresh on the poison, as well as getting the bleed out. We do so little damage with our melee that we don't really even want to use a buff. Hopefully one of those two caused a poison refresh. And now we want to get that Doom back on. Nice, we did get the refresh. Okay. Doom, that. Also, we're using Cut Purse. Cut Purse is another one-time use per fight, so we're keeping those. Even though it's at a certain point we don't really need the money anymore, it is just too valuable for us to take out because the deck things thin so well. And Oryx Change card is another 4 hits, helping out that Doom even further, and the fight's done. Very, very speedy fight. And storyline-wise, we took down the headmistress from the academy, and she put us on the track to follow who she was working with. And she was working with some evil druids out in this haunted, spooky forest, poison swamp, whatever the heck you want to call it. And this spooky swamp also happens to be the hometown of our new friends, the twins. And this druid's going to introduce us to a thing we're not going to use at all, but a moon juice mechanic. If you wanted to, it can give you a little buff, and it can confuse you if you really want to. I think Galleo actually has a couple cards that actually work pretty well with making Galleo confused. Now we take one quick detour from the end. This is kind of supposed to be a bit of a maze chapter, where you're running around trying to find the 3 sigils to unlock the door. But the solution doesn't change, so we already know the answer. Took a brief detour to the twins' home to get a card, a free card that we get against all odds. That's a 50% evasion for the whole party for 1 turn. It is incredibly useful. All right, here's the incredibly difficult puzzle. Whew. Tough every time. And this game, truly, you know what this game was lacking? I haven't seen enough of them. I haven't seen this game have enough dragons. So just another one. This one likes to reflect any physical damage back to the attacker in the form of lightning damage. So we're going to try and hit them with fire damage instead. Let's find that Auric is there. Give me twins. This is too early for Doom, but I'm gonna take it. Auric will be done won't be paralyzed by the time we get around to doing a Cyclone Slash. Ooh, nice. We did get the poison. Very good. We're gonna build up steam 1 more turn, and then we're gonna have Auric do Doom Cyclone. And we're going to dodge this full steam attack with the Against All Odds. It doesn't hurt us that much, but it's nice. It's safer. Also, this dragon casts haste on itself, meaning it can do more damage or can do more attacks per turn. But more attacks means more bleed procs for us, so it's great. And nearly done here, unfortunately. Okay, we just need a bit more damage. This doesn't do that much damage, but it should be enough to finish the fight. Auric will defeat themselves. Actually, no, keep himself alive. Nice. Pretty solid fight. And finally, after this fight, we no longer have to worry about envenom poison percent chances. We have a brand new, very consistent way to land poison on the entire party. Okay, and for this chapter, we get to see the arena, a lovely part here. So weapons, buy upgraded weapon for our melee for more damage, buy a weaponry for new combo card, venom for max shot combo, 1, 2, 3, arcane effective for fire pillar. Pernica comes back in. Because this is an arena, it's it's 3 small enemy fights in a row, and Auric is very much our single target fighter. So they are not nearly as useful in this situation. So we're going to bring in Copernica again. Because even though she's already starting to get underleveled, party members that are not in the active party do get 50% XP, but she is still more than powerful enough with all the extra benefits that she will do pretty great damage for us. We're going to try and keep everyone pretty healthy here. I really want Twins card. Because one part of this arena, it's 3 small fights in a row, but we do not heal in between any of those fights. So having a Copernica combo for a full party shield would be really nice. I just do a bunch of damage. And this is the brand new combo card. This is the Skunk Spray from the Twins, and it is a full party or full enemy party poison. For free, it is excellent, incredibly useful. Hopefully with the poison this takes this out. Gonna be just unfortunate. Luckily those shields will keep us nice and happy. Or nice and healthy. Alright. And that is probably the slowest fight. Because after this, get a level up in our melee's damage, Copernica's magic, and the Twins' damage. We get a full increase to the entire party's damage, and now they're doing massive amounts. Brave Buster that was doing like 300 before is now able to do about 550. Okay, yeah, I'm looking for another Twins card, dang it. Put Doom onto one of the small enemies here. These little gremlin-looking guys. They are very weak to... That's very unfortunate there. They are very weak to arcane damage, which that is the damage type that Doom does. And a thing that this game does well, like, it makes status effects useful the entire game. And in order to balance it out against bosses, it does probably like a third damage. So the poison does about 15% of the target's HP against regular enemies, but against bosses it does 5%. Still a very substantial amount, but it balances things out pretty nicely and makes it still very useful to use throughout. Wow, that is unfortunate. I'm just gonna play it safe. On to the final arena fight. Okay. At least we're able to get poison off. Ideally, we want to get Doom onto this big enemy right away. They do a ton of damage, and we want to take them out ASAP. So Doom would be very nice to see here, but the evasion all on the party and getting poison out right away will suffice for now. Really need to keep everything safe. So we're going to do a party shield here. And then we really need to focus damage on the big guy. We are actually not doing great on HP. No Doom. Okay. Poison and bleed should do a bunch, and we should be able to take them out next turn. Hopefully before they take out any allies. Ow! Very rude. Okay, there's our Doom. Doom. That's probably going to be our best shot. Yeah, the bleed and Doom should finish off that top guy, but he'll probably... Oh, thank you, evasion. Zephyr Cape having 80% dodge chance just on everything is very helpful. We should be in the clear here now. We'll get poison from the twins next turn, and then this arena should be done. Okay, one more turn. Twins do decent damage, but not nearly as much as everyone else in the party at the moment. Okay, out of the arena. And we get another massive damage increase there. Which will help out in the upcoming fight. Because now we're going to make our way over to the duck truck. While we're over there, Ashen, you can hit us up with another couple donations, because it takes 30-40 seconds or so to get there.
All right. Well, we do currently have a little bit of a lull in donations, but I do actually want to talk about that Piplup behind you. He's been a wonderful commentator, absolutely great there to help with the run. But the Piplup is there because it is a prize that you can win. Not right now. Very important to note, the Piplup is not currently available as a prize, but it will be later on in the marathon. We do have other prizes available right now, though. Currently, you can donate a minimum of $20 to be entered in the possibility to win a cherry chocobo platter, a beautiful piece of woodwork with a chocobo figure engraved in it. And also available is the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive books 1 through 3. So this is a set of all 3 books. That is a $15 minimum donation. If you want to see the pictures for this, they are available on our website, rpglimitbreak.com.
All right, and we have a duck truck. I have the right party? Yes. Okay. This is the duck truck.
Fantastic. As a reminder, this was a $500 bid war that people were able to put towards. So
absolutely.
Let's get some hype in for
so much.
$500 incentive.
This duck truck cries on us. It is quite the unique enemy. Not another poison, but we're going to keep bleed up here. Our strategy is not too different to deal with the duck truck. It's quite the unique boss. It waddles around. It's going to proc some lovely things on itself. And I forget exactly what its next turn is. I think it rolls. Yeah, rolls, question mark. And we're going to do as best damage as we can right now while we got our statuses and Doom up. Because unfortunately, it is a mini-boss. It does have some power to it, at least. And that power is that. Completely one-shots one of your party members. And we might have enough damage here. That we don't have to bring the twins back up. No, not quite. Not unless we get a good turn with our melee for another bleed. Nope. All right. So let's just get a little bit of tick damage here, and then we'll take down this duck truck. Hopefully before it gets another turn and wipes out another party member, because it can do that. Okay, it's going to wipe out a party member here, but the poison will take it down. I'm sorry to hurt such a lovely creature, but... Oh, I didn't get another attack out. There we go. There's our duck truck. And actually, it gives us a lovely bit of equipment that we don't normally do. We don't normally do this boss fight, but it gives us Pandora's Box, which on hit gives, I think, a 12% chance to just cause a random status effect on the enemy. It also gives us a little crit chance increase, so that goes on to Auric. So when we do our cyclone slashes coming up, where we're hitting the enemy a ton of time, we can probably just see some random random status effect procs, which is very nice. Also, this chapter we normally don't do anything in. This is right near the entrance of the chapter. It's another maze-like chapter where you're supposed to find the sigils to figure out how to rotate these, but the answer doesn't change. So we could have literally just walked over to the end of the chapter immediately, and this chapter is like a minute and a half long. But y'all donated for it, and I sincerely appreciate it. The Duck Chuck is very silly, and also has a different variant of it in the arena. That is another optional content that we do in the 100% speedrun category of this. And that Duck Chuck is the hardest fight in the game, pretty much. This game has so much that we don't see in the any percent, but it is... Oh, I love this game so much. I love the card building aspect. I love the writing. The writing is really excellent in this game. Very silly, but also very fun. And so many different strategies that you can see that we don't see in the speedrun. All right, we've got another menu here. Should have enough purple. Yep. Craft new cards. We want Epidemic and we want Raven Strike. And Oric in the party. Okay. We've tracked down the evil druid. They were using, they were taking apart other machines to make the moon juice. So Lovely, our ally who tried out the moon juice, accidentally drank other robots' fluid, and that obviously makes the entire party upset because that's sickening. But turns out the big evil boss wasn't fully defeated before. It just had its main heart ripped out. And that main heart is lying in the roots of this evil tree. So we got to get rid of that so we can hopefully find the heart of the evil beast that threatened the world before and take care of it before it has a chance to do anything nasty. And this tree is secretly, if you know Final Fantasy well, this tree is secretly also a Marlboro. The full steam attack from this tree is nasty, can cause a lot of nasty status effects. We got Raven Strike on the twins now, that causes blind on the enemy. That's gonna be hopefully seen soon. Okay, there it is. Unfortunately, against all... okay, we're gonna do this. We ideally don't want Doom this early, because we don't have enough steam for it, really. But it's gonna be very effective at keeping up the blind, or keeping up the poison on the enemy, and then also blinding it, so hopefully that bad breath is not going to do too much bad stuff to us. We're going against the odds. We're going to Epidemic. Epidemic is a really neat card. Epidemic spreads any status effects on the enemy you choose out to the entire enemy party, and it also refreshes the status effects. Doom is counted as a curse, so Doom doesn't get refreshed, but Bleed, that Blind, and that Poison is all refreshed. Ugh, that is unfortunate. Shoot, do I? Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna have to get rid of that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make any use whatsoever of this first Doom, but we got it back in our hand, so we can put it up again. Gonna have our Millie reapply Bleed here. Twins are gonna get Bleed or Poison and Doom back up, and then hopefully a Cyclone/Doom combo will be able to finish the job. If we get the right cards. Okay, good. And we should be able to finish this off the same turn as it would do another Bad Breath, so we don't have to worry about getting that poison or that blind back up. If we get it, we get it, but... okay. And we should hopefully be able to finish this off next turn. With the Poison, the Bleed tick, and then Cyclone Slash is going to do great things. And we'll see which Pandora's Box status effects we're going to get that aren't going to help the fight at all, but they're going to be neat to see. All right, what are we going to see? Wow, no additional status effects at all. Great. But that's the fight. Luckily, that bad breath only did one bad thing to the party member. If it hits all three, it can massively drag down the fight. Now we got a large cutscene. We've got the heart of the big beast here. Got to get this out of here real quick. We don't want that enemy army coming here and actually getting it. Got to figure out a way to destroy it. And yo, we're a little bit surrounded. Also, that guy looks familiar. Looks like the guy we've seen on the statues throughout the entirety of this game. Gilgamek is the baddie. Gilgamek, kind of literally in this game story, is kind of being an evil guy because he needs an ego boost. He is kind of bored. He defeated the great evil and just not really any use for heroes anymore. Not that the big great evil's down, so he wants to relive the old glory days and bring it back to life so he can defeat it yet again. And he's still very strong, so he just stunned us and stole it from us. So now we have to chase him down, and this is the beginning of the final act of the speedrun. Final act of the speedrun, but we still probably got like another 40 minutes because this final act is, it's a beefy one. All right, you gents need to separate, please. Yeah. Got another unique boss fight coming up here. So we have a very unique strategy. We're not going to be doing the whole Doom Cyclone. Also, nice little SteamWorld dig reference there. Not sure this game exists in the same complete universe because of all the fantasy stuff, but I haven't looked into it. All right, we need Inspiring Hero, Heroic Strikes, 4 Shouts, Heartbroken Hero, and Epidemic for extra. And we're going to bring Copernica back in because this fight is a unique one. This fight is against the Snoggers. These guys are all big, beefy jerks. And we want to spread status effects throughout all of them. Ooh, give me a twins. Good. Or give me a Copernica. That's actually perfect. So Arcane Detective gets us lots of extra steam. We're going to need as much as we can get for later, as well as Copernica gives us a nice shield to keep us safe. These Snoggers all have the capability to regen themselves. It is incredibly frustrating. So hopefully we can get a good card. All right, we're going to spread. We're going to blind them. We're going to spread that blind for the entire enemy party. That's going to keep us nice and safe because these guys can buff themselves and do lots and lots of damage. Luckily, that blind is going to save us a lot. We are also going to hopefully get another... I don't have enough cards. Not enough steam. That's fine. We'll get bleed later. But most importantly, we get Heartbroken Hero. That is a new card that we just got for our melee that puts Despair onto the enemy. Despair prevents the enemy from healing. Obviously great when the enemy has so much annoying stuff. Okay. And we should have enough steam to also get bleed. We're spread that Despair through the entire party. Now none of these Snoggers can do any healing whatsoever, and that also refreshes the poison and the bleed, or the poison and the blind. We also want to get bleed on there and also spread that around if we can. Not being the most cooperative. I really need another Epidemic. We need to keep Epidemics up every other turn, otherwise the status effects are all going to drop at the end of that turn. So we really want to dig deep in our deck for another Epidemic here, and then we can just kind of go for damage. Because these guys, because they can't heal, they're just going to be taking lots and lots of damage. Shoot. Unfortunately, our status effects are going to drop here. I was not able to dig for another Epidemic, so we're going to have to try and re-up the poison at the very least on the enemy. Oh, now we get the Epidemic. Thanks, game. Oh, at least the bleed is still active because our melee refreshed that separately. That's great, actually. Because once any of these Snoggers goes down, they all have a reaction command to increase their attack. That reaction command is another card, which means another bleed proc. So these enemies are going to be dominoing themselves to death. Excellent. Pretty good fight. And that is the last fight we're going to see Copernica in, fortunately. She is incredibly useful, and she's probably the most and the safest party member for a casual playthrough. But we got strategies that Copernica doesn't slot into coming up in 2 chapters' time. So she unfortunately is going to get dropped in this chapter for the rest of the game. And now we have a very, very long chapter. And probably our last really safe time for some donations or anything we want to read for a good 40 seconds or so. So if you got anything, Ashen, hit us up.
Absolutely, thank you. So we do have a couple donations here. An anonymous $80 donation. It says that they're just making absolutely sure that British gets what's coming to him in Ultima 4. Which, and I'm just rechecking here, it does look like the Kill Lord British incentive during Ultima 4 run has been met now. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much. Keep going, Ash.
And we do have $20 from Valdercorn that says, what a cool game. Definitely have added it to my wish list to hopefully find time to check it out once I have cleared some stuff off my backlog. I think we all feel that. Great run and great work.
Thank you. Probably got time for one more.
All right, well, we'll talk a little bit about NAMI. We, of course, RPG Limit Break 2022 is proudly supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness, aka NAMI. To get involved in the fight against mental illness and the stigmas it can bring, reach out to NAMI via their state organizations or on Facebook, where they can be found as NAMI, on Instagram as Twitter as @NAMICommunicate. It's not a weakness to need help, so please reach out if you think you need the help.
All right. And we are getting into the boss fights. There are 3 boss fights in this chapter. This chapter is our evil recollection of everything that's happened in the game so far. So we're starting with Copernica's recollection, and we have to fight the headmistress yet again, but she is a new updated version. Does more damage, but pretty similar strategies as before. She can cast haste on herself again, or now, so we really want to get a bleed on if we can. And we also got a new card here that we're implementing. We have Terror. Terror is a card that reduces the enemy's arcane defense by 25%. Arcane? Oh, wow. Double time lock? You kidding me? Oh, that's really bad. Yeah, we're just going to have to eat a turn here. There's nothing we can do. That is very rare to have a double time lock. So we need to re-up these status effects. But yeah, Terror reduces the arcane defense, which is the exact type of damage type that Doom does. And Doom, not only can the Doom damage crit, so instead of doing like on average 1% of the target's max HP, it does more akin to... It does more akin to 1.25%, or crits are a 50% multiplier, and then on top of that, another 25% from the arcane defense down. So Doom Cyclone's going to be doing a hefty amount here. So we'll gonna have to do this. The Headmistress has a unique mechanic where whatever damage type they get hit by first in a turn, they use a card and it grants immunity to them. So I wanted to get lightning immunity so I could still land my physical attacks later. And unfortunately with our melee... Okay, this will work. In order to hit the bleed and cause it to activate, you need to actually do damage. So we needed a fire card from our melee in order to get the bleed on, but pretty good. Headmistress 2 down. Run back with a quick save. We don't have to worry about enemies respawning because we skip them all, but we definitely need that heal. Running through these 2 side passages to get a couple keys. Keys are blocked by those boss fights. And luckily, we've streamlined a vast amount of this run so that we don't have to pick up many optional things. There's this storage room down there and in the room to the south that has a nice item that sells for 800, as well as a bunch of things you can break that give you up to 200 gold. But we've gotten good enough at our money routing that we don't really need it anymore. Little bits of time saved here and there add up. And one more dragon for the road. Get our status effects up. This dragon can roar, can cause us to have paralysis again like the normal ones, but also it has bleed, or it adds poison onto the entire party very quickly, which is very, very frustrating. So we're on very much a tight time limit for this fight. That poison will defeat us, and this dragon is no slouch for damage itself. Nice. Okay, no paralysis. That's great to see. Oh, no combos. Hopefully we can just get a Doom. Hopefully we can get a Doom and get a poison refresh. Ideally, I would have liked to refresh bleed that turn, but we take what we can get. Dang it. Okay, well, our status effect upkeep is gonna cause us to not have that much damage, but at least we got Doom, we got Terror on, so our Doom Cyclone's gonna be doing a healthy amount. And actually, thank you very much to Pandora's Box that we got from the duck truck fight that caused an extra poison there. Well, luckily, with that terror causing another multiplicative 25% arcane damage, we actually did enough damage that we didn't even need that extra poison. Very, very handy. Luckily, we're good on status effect healing items that we don't have to buy anymore. Not until next chapter. We've got one more boss fight here in this boss fight. If you're guessing at which boss fight we're gonna have to redo next, we're gonna need status effect healing items. Lovely little switch maze here as we work towards the end of this chapter. There's one treasure, a very, very important treasure that we don't want to hit that switch for. This is the Brute Belt. So accessories and weapons kind of do like that additive type of strength increase. It adds to your base, and then defense downs and strength ups will increase your damage by a percentage, and that's multiplicative, so 25% times 25% rather than plus, and those add up quickly. Brute's Belt is an accessory, but it does a multiplicative stat increase because it's dependent on how much steam you have. It gives you 5% more attack per steam that you have. So in addition to all the additive ones that Armelia has, Armelia is now going to have an extra multiplicative one. And we're going to stack a bunch of multiplicative damage increases for the next chapter. And that's going to make it so that Armelia is our strongest character going into the end game. Alright, one quick deck here. Strike for shout and siphon cut purse for epidemic and steel strength. One final boss refight. And it's another one that gives us lots of status effects. Let's have a big old tree again. Oh boy. Oh, no combos here. Slow upkeep, but the shout does a strength decrease. This enemy does a lot of damage, and it causes a defense down for us. Yeah, 200 damage for just a basic hit. Very frustrating boss. Oh, man. Ugh. We're just going to have to put the Doom on early and get it later. or get it back later. Nothing I could have done about it. It's best that we get the status effects up. We needed the blind on anyway. Poison does so much damage over the duration of the fight. It was too much to give up. Wow! Okay, that's... just gonna have to re-up here. The cards are not being kind this fight, as well as I have to waste my against all odds. The bad breath is next turn, not this turn, and I would have liked to have that for the next turn to really hope that bad breath doesn't do anything nasty. Please let me have bleed this time. Give me enough Armelia cards. There we go. Alright. Only a blind that's stopping this bad breath. Let's see how nasty it'll be. Blind on 2 of them. That should be fine. No. I'm just going to try for a bleed here. It's probably not going to land, but that's okay. The blind is going to wear off by the time I want to do another Doom Cyclone, so I'm not going to heal it. I think we got Doom in hand already, so we can get that on right away, as well as hopefully another poison. That's perfect. That gives us Terror as well. Really boost all that status, or all that Doom damage. Blind is going to wear off this turn, so we can have Auric go straight into that Cyclone Slash. Unfortunately, Rain of Blades is a random target that it chooses, so not all of those hits are going to land on the tree, but that should be more than enough damage to actually... None of them even landed. Come on! Luckily, the bleed and the poison should, or will finish this off. Okay. Just barely it healed. Alright. That is the close of this chapter, and we will be on to chapter 18. The hardest chapter in this speedrun. 4 bosses in the upcoming chapter. All of them are very dangerous. And the hardest one is right at the end, because of course it is. And like I was mentioning about Underleveled, typically like casual playthrough, you'll probably be like around the level 40 to level 42 mark at the end of chapter 18, this upcoming chapter. We're going to be level 30, level 31. Again, every single level up is probably another 20 to 25% damage increase or 20 to 25% health increase, so we're very weak compared to what we're supposed to be. All right, we got a very big menu here. Getsu, accessories. These are very important accessories. Equip. We want Brute Bell, Ogre Slayer, All. Box for Charm, Stone Compass for Journeyman. Sell all those accessories, all those weapons, recovery items, all these moon juices, all the repair vials. We don't need those anymore. All the green materials. And 40 of the blue, because we want 30 left. Craft, all in. Expose, upgrade, bravado, heroic strike. Oh, I didn't buy. We need 40. Expose and bravado. Let's get a big, healthy stash of recovery items. Hey, Dex. Shout. 4, 1, 2, 1. Epidemic Terrors for Siphon Mind. Axe Chop and Exposes. And Eye Cyclone for Stone Lion. Okay. Now we can go into the final boss fights prepared. And the hardest boss fights are against ourselves. We have brand new strategies here, though. So we're going to want to start off doing a bunch of tick damage against our Shadow Copernica. because she does a lot of damage. A new accessory on our melee that we equipped is the Ogre Slayer. That gives us 70% chance to land a crit if the enemy is also above 70% HP. So all of these initial strikes have very, very high chance of landing crits. Very, very helpful. We're going to want to build up a bunch of steam here. We want to land some poison and hopefully get an expose. Expose is another fantastic card. Because we upgraded it, it reduces the physical defense of the enemy by 2 tiers, so 40% additional damage. Again, with those multiple damage stackings, that shield should not matter. Because we should be able to do this, this, and even with that shield up, we should be doing a lot. Welcome to All In. 6k damage in a single strike. It is amazing and so very, very helpful to dish out everything we need here. And it prevents that anti-Copernica from landing their full steam attack, which is very nasty. That is a thunder wave, and it can paralyze the whole party, and it's very frustrating to deal with. I'm going to take a safety turn here. Stone Lion is a new card that we're using on Auric that causes the enemy to flinch, meaning that they lose 1 turn of using their card. And actually, while we're here, we're just going to delay even further, get a little bit of tick damage onto anti-arm melee as we're prepping them to be all in. As well as Auric's got a new card. We can cast haste on ourselves, so next turn we get 4 cards that we can play. We're going to buff, and we're also going to poison. Playing 4 cards gives us so much more leeway. It means we can use a healing item and still get a combo card out. Haste is so very useful. We didn't have it up to this point just because it was you were potentially giving up too much damage. You were giving up too much damage to over the Rain of Blades because we wanted all those Doom proc damages earlier. But Doom is not a central strategy for the upcoming 3 boss fights. Okay, we have more than enough damage. Get our exposes on, and I want it all in so that we can take down one of these 2. Probably going to guarantee the crit against the bottom one, so it should be good. No! Jerk! You jerk! Guess we'll just keep up a little bit. I'll use my all against the top one, against the anti-Galleo, because they heal constantly. And they're low enough at this point that our damage should be good enough. I got Bushido and Bravado? Yeah. Okay. The reason why we normally don't aim all in for Galleo is because Galleo has base 50% damage reduction against physical. And that's on this difficulty. On the next difficulty up, they have complete immunity to physical damage. The difficulty increase is very, very fast whenever you upgrade. Let's do that. Let's flinch them so that they hopefully won't do anything. And we hopefully just get another poison and expose and then go for one more all-in fight. If I can get an all-in. Oh, very rude. Luckily, crits with heroic strikes and all these status ups does pretty good damage on its own. Just need a Brave Buster. Literally anything. Give me anything. Thank you. There we go. Alright. 1 down. 3 more boss fights to go still. This chapter. We fought our first 3 party members. Now, it's on to the twins. Twins have so much HP, and their debuffs and status effects are very frustrating to deal with. So hopefully, we can avoid it. The bottom one is the annoying one that we want to take out first. They're the ones that can cause a full party attack debuff, and we want as... Of course, you land the attack debuff on our melee. I should have gotten rid of that at zone 9. Alright, we're again building up for another all-in combo. Getting a good chunk of tick damage to hopefully keep them above 70% HP, but get them closer and closer to that threshold so that we can get lots and lots of damage here. And now the attack debuff is gone, or will be gone on our melee here. So if we hopefully get the all-in that we want... dang it. That's unfortunate. I'm going to delay. It's also good to not have these two do both their steam attacks at the same time, because stacking them together hurts. There is our all-in. Bravado. Yeah, all-in. Yeah, all-in. And then strike just to guarantee. As well as if this actually finishes, please, crit. Thank you. That means that we get poison onto the top one at the same time. Very nice. Very good. Alright, let's keep the poison up. And we should hopefully not have to build up as much steam. We can just keep on shuffling our deck until we get that all-in back in our hands and just use it as soon as it's available, because we'll be doing lots and lots of good tick damage. Okay, 4 cards next turn. Okay. We just need all in, and then this fight should be done. Well, this fight will be done. Oh, come on! And unfortunately, the game is going to make me lose a turn here and there. There we go. And this actually has a unique ability that we haven't seen on basically any of the cards we've used so far. All in is, I forget exactly the term they call it in game, but it's a card that combos with another character rather than using 3 cards from the same character. So if I use an Auric card before all in, it does another additional damage percentage on top, which is excellent. And while we got a lovely new upgrade material, we are going to upgrade to Doom. Doom doesn't do more damage now, but instead of lasting 3 turns, it now lasts 5, which is very, very helpful coming up. We defeated every other party member. Now we have to beat 3 different stances of Auric. We already got our all-in, so we're going to have to work around that. For this one, we want to take down the top one first, but we do so much damage at this point, we're not going to do any stacking. Are you kidding me with that? Okay, luckily, we did have... Luckily, we had haste, so we could heal away this confusion and get poison on all the enemies, but that is very, very low odds to have the entire party confused there. Wow, and Auric is taking so much damage too. Yeesh. These guys are not messing around. Get Auric nice and healthy. And confusion wears off this turn. So that's all we need is an expose. Expose, Bushido, all in. That should take care of the top one. Shoot, I didn't buff. That won't kill. Oh, it's close enough. I think it's close enough. I think the poison should do the trick. Beautiful. All right. Okay. Now we're going to do a bunch of tick damage to the front one. The back one has the healing mask Auric. That has a unique property. Every time it gets hit, instead of... it's kind of like the opposite of... it is the opposite of Doom. Every time it gets hit, it heals. So a lovely word of the wise to people who are going to check out this game casually. Don't be only reliant on Doom Cyclone for damage. I spent a very long time on this fight because I had to be delayed constantly because I couldn't take down the bottom target because my main source of damage that could that could do it was all single target hit or multi hits, and against that enemy they basically don't do any damage whatsoever. Okay, here. There's no expose. That should be fine. We should have enough damage. Should have enough damage even without expose. We've been doing tick damage on the front, but this guy has such little HP that we can wipe him out anyway. Now we just need to finish off this front guy, and we are done. And that should do the trick. Good. All right. All of our selves have been defeated. Now, to face down Gilgamek himself, the great hero of old. Call him for heroic. Axe chop, peppers, expose for terror and strike, and the lines for that and that. Okay. On to Gilgamek. This is probably the hardest and most dangerous fight of this speedrun. Gilgamek does a ton of damage and is split up into 2 phases. The first phase does a ton of damage on its own, but once he reaches half HP, he's going to do a full heal and full dispel of any debuffs and status effects on him. And then the second phase also has additional statuses that he does to us, and it is very dangerous. So we're going to do our best to just kind of build up steam in the start here, and let the status effects do the work to slowly chip him down to half HP, and hopefully not take too much damage from the start here. With a bunch of evasion and a bunch of blind. Okay, that'll work. And this is going to hinge on us building up a lot of steam early and the status effects, because Auric has a brand new capability in the Beast Charm. The Beast Charm... the Beast Charm on crit does a % current HP to the enemy. With the Bushido upgrade to increase our crit chance and Auric's crit stance mask, Auric basically has 100% crit chance now. So every single time that Auric's going to be dishing out a Doom Cyclone slash damage, it is going to be doing a ton. Okay, this is gonna hurt. I really didn't want to push into second phase beforehand. That's what I didn't want to see. Okay. Okay, and he's gonna counter. That should be fine. Everyone's still pretty healthy. Yeah, I'm just gonna buff here, because this stance that Gilgamek is in now, he will counter anytime you hit him. So I'm only gonna hit him once so that Armilli doesn't take too much damage here. I want to get poison back on, and then I want Auric to go in for Doom Cyclone. Oh, that's not good. Please don't hit Auric with whatever move you're gonna do. This is not going great. Still alive, technically. Don't hit Auric. Thank you for targeting the twins. Okay, he's charging up this turn, which is great. I want Doom. Where's Doom? Come on. Oh, and I can't heal. Oh, boy. This is bad. So, oh, no. He's actually not charging up. Okay, well, this might be a game over, and there's nothing I can do about it. Because this aura means this aura that he has active right now, I can't heal. But I can revive. So if I can get Doom... Game, please! Okay. Okay, we should still be safe here. Revive kits do a lot. I just need a Doom Cyclone, and this game is not giving me Doom. Unless I did something incredibly stupid and accidentally got rid of Doom, which is... I've done before, and that is bad. Which I might have, which is not good. I'm going to be very upset at myself if I did that, because I think I did. Hopefully, because we don't really need the Doom damage, though, if I can just get the crits onto Auric, should be fine. Oh, no. I don't have the crits. I need to get bleed on. Luckily, he's charging... he's not charging up for an Ultima. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I accidentally got rid of Doom. It's not the first time I've made that mistake, but it hurts. How many more revive kits do I have? I just need a Bushido, and then this should be done. Okay. Yeah, I got rid of Doom. Wow! It's percent. Current HP. Not percent max. Or it's not percent max. Oof! Like I said, this is a hard fight, and it surely doesn't help when you get rid of your most powerful card on accident. Okay, well, now you'll get to see it properly. And luckily, we have more than enough time in the estimate to handle this. It's also a good example of, this is not an easy speedrun. Sometimes it's nice to have it shown off that it is not easy. Alright, let's do this properly now. Okay. That is really early for Doom. Because the downside is, again, at half health, he will get rid of any debuffs, and that includes Doom. So there's no use in having Doom on early. No combo. Just do that. Really want to get those status effects on nice and early so that those can do a bunch of work early. Really? Okay, well, we're just gonna cycle through Doom again. I need poison to start taking damage here. Luckily, on reset, we do get all of our healing items back, so I have all of my strong stuff back. Wow, very few combos. That's okay. Have a crit mask on Auric. Poison and Doom should take us into next phase. Yes, okay. That's not too bad. Now we want to get combos. Really reduces strength. Because Gilgamek does mostly physical damage, and Steel Strength is a great 2-tier strength debuff onto the enemy. And we got this right after the Steam card went up, so we're actually pretty safe at the moment. Okay, well, not the ideal bleed, but that'll work. So now, I want Doom Cyclone Slash! Oh my god. Oh, this guy is such a jerk. You know what, I'm going to take it a bit safe here. We can heal. We got the time. Hopefully, Bane Sword whiffs. Good. Okay, we should be pretty safe for the next bout of turns. We can't heal anymore, but that's fine. Okay, now I want Terror, Doom, get that poison back up, and then Cyclone Slash to finish this. This is the roughest fight of the entire speedrun. Okay, Doom, Terror, I need a Bushido. Oh, I can't heal. I can't heal, I don't have crits. Shoot. I'm just gonna have to go for the hits. The crits are not gonna do nearly as much, but you still need the damage. Okay, Auric's still alive. That should be good. Okay, that should be good. Oh, Gilgamek. Always uncooperative. Oh, boy. We're out of there, oh. Out of there. Alright. And probably got 1 minute before we head on into the final chapter and the final boss fights. So, Ashen, if you want to hit us up with anything, you got the time.
Well, thank you. Yes, we can go ahead and talk about quite a lot here. We do, of course, want to talk about and send our thanks to the people involved in our foreign language restreams. Our French restream can be found at twitch.tv/lefrenchrestream and our Japanese stream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. If those restreams can help you enjoy the marathon, go and check them out and send them some love. We do also want to call our attention to the lower right-hand corner of the stream here. We are less than $400 away from $10,000, everybody. And we have some wonderful bid incentives coming up, some wonderful prizes available right now. Go ahead, get your donations in. Let's get that number up to 10,000, and let's get some of these incentives met.
Absolutely. All right, we got one little quick bout of purchasing before we head on into the final fights. And make sure I do my deck change beforehand, because I don't want to mess up my decks again. Right, check terror for X jobs and expose, and we're good to go. We defeated Gilgamek, but not enough. He's still spry, still active, and he's gotten down to the summoning circle to bring back the big baddie. Let's try again. Try again. It doesn't really matter, we just want poison. This is kind of more of a formality fight. Gilgamek can't actually defeat us here. He only does two things. He can berserk our allies, which is going to slow down the fight, or he does Deathwind, which is percent current HP damage, so nothing really to worry about. We're just going to build up a little steam here, let Orc do some nice crits, because unfortunately that berserk means we don't have Doom on the enemy. But Oryx still has that percent current HP damage on any crit, so still do some beefy chunks there. And hopefully we can just do a Brave Buster from our melee, and that should be done with this fight. Dang it, we couldn't stop him. Now is his time to shine. He wanted that ego boost. Now it's time for him to put up or shut up. He's a big boy. Big angry boy. You know, this is the only time I'll root for Gilgamek. He's been a jerk this whole game, but at least he defeated it once. He can do it again. He's got it. He's got it. Seems a bit stronger than it was last time, and Gilgamech's gotten a bit older. So now he's gonna have to make us do it instead. Jerk. Well, at least he gives us a parting heal before making us do all of his dirty work. And on to the final boss fight. Against the big baddie that's just teleporting around into all the places and destroying everything. So let's put him down. This fight operates in that we can only damage the head. The head is the main HP pool of the boss, and we can only attack it and do damage when its maw is open. So right now, anything we do to it would do precisely 1 damage. And because Doom lasts 5 turns now, we can put that on nice and early, and it should survive long enough for us to take down the hands, which then will allow us to open up the maw and then do good damage. Also nice. That is a guaranteed paralysis if it hits, and we luckily were able to dodge it. Okay, let's expose. and hopefully be able to take down that bottom one so it doesn't do anything else nasty. And another little trick, the bottom hand will have a counterattack for all magic damage, and the top hand will have a counterattack for all physical damage, so we kind of have to work around that as well. Unfortunate. That actually should be fine. With this crit, that should, yep, take care of the bottom one. Our Millie does fantastic damage in this fight, so she's gonna get buffed up. We're gonna work around her. That. Get expose on for another nice multiplicative damage stack. And we're also gonna wanna have, we don't need too much steam in this first phase, but we wanna build up for a Doom Cyclone Slash as soon as that maw opens. That is unfortunate. Shoot, I might be opening up this too soon. Yep. Because I think Doom wears off now and Auric is paralyzed. Yep, Doom wore off. So we're just going to have to make do with what we can. Okay, that's pretty good. Paralysis wears off this turn. We build up just a smidge of steam. We don't need much. This boss has 50,000 HP, and when you're doing with Auric, percent current HP damage, Auric's about to do a big chunk. Remember, 50,000 HP this guy has, and with only a quarter charge Cyclone Slash, that is half of its HP gone. On to phase 2. Rinse and repeat of the last phase, but a bit tougher. Instantly closes the maw, but we want to immediately be building up. Shoot, no combos. Building up steam, keeping our health nice and healthy, get the poison up, just take down these hands as soon as possible. But this time we want to build up for a very large Doom Cyclone Slash once the maw is open. Because if you break it into its final phase before it can even do anything, it actually does a little bit of a mess to the AI. This is not ideal. Oh, no combos again. Shoot. Not getting the greatest defense here. We're a little low on HP, but I think with all the damage we've been doing, it should be fine. Maybe not. Okay, let's get Doom back on, get Poison on, and hopefully we'll have the ability to finish off these hands before they do anything too Nancy. Stay alive. Stay alive, Armilla. You got this. Give me a Brave Buster. Dang it. Shoot. Actually, we're gonna heal. Not getting the hands that I want here. And of course you lock our Millie. Thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It targets the highest HP enemy ally, so by default. Okay, that's that. Let's keep poison up. Very rough hands here. And Auric will probably go down, which means I won't have my crit mask once I bring Auric back. Okay. This should hopefully do a very chunky bit of damage. Please crit. I had the crit, come on. This final boss fight is being very rude. Okay, let's do this. We'll probably, we'll play it safe. We'll let Poison do some work here. Poison should take down the bottom hand in 1 or 2 turns. I'll probably have to revive allies. Perfectly fine. We'll do this. Nope, that. Why do I keep doing that? Revive. Prepare. Elixir onto the right target, please. Okay. Are you kidding me? You kidding me with these statuses? This is being a very rude fight. You know what? We don't need our Millie. Want Doom Cyclone Slash right away. I hope Doom doesn't turn off this turn. Okay, it didn't. We should be in the clear, provided... Of course we didn't. Oh, boy. Okay, we're not going to be able to do the kind of AI break that I was hoping for. Because if you go into final phase without this one doing basically anything, it's so much easier. Doom is still active. Get that blind off, and we should be able to push this into final phase with 0 HP remaining. Yep, it is at 0 HP. Meaning we basically just need to do some final ticks, and it will be time. Time is coming up shortly. Oh, Armelia was blinded. I think we'll be fine. Incredibly rude, though. And time. Thank you, thank you. That was SteamWorld Quest speedrun any percent. I was honestly going very well until the final bosses decided to be incredibly rude, and my hand RNG did not give me anything I wanted, and I made the mistake of removing my most powerful card from my deck. Whoops. But that happens. It's a very RNG heavy run, very intensive and adaptive run. I love doing this speedrun. It's fresh every single time, and so much fun. I think Prosho is the one who's been lowering this time massively alongside me, and Prosho is the world record holder at the moment with a 149, which was a time I thought was never going to be seen in this game. And then another big shout-outs to Roos and Stilljaws and Peanut, other runners of this game, and Roos and Still especially for when we very much started routing this speedrun. It was kind of a nice cooperative but also competitive environment. Still and Roos were working on a Copernica route and increasing that constantly, and then there was me just kind of separately working on our Millie, so it was like a nice trying to figure out at the same time which route's faster and bouncing ideas back and forth, and this route wouldn't be what it is without them. And then we found new strats with our Millie with all those multiplicative stacks, and it's been massive time increases since. And yeah, I'm so happy with this run and how far we've been able to get it. And yeah, thank you so much, RPG Limit Break, for having me. It's been an absolute blast. Shout outs to all the lovely people that donated, all the familiar names that I saw from my community and my friends. I very much appreciate it, and it's been an absolute honor showcasing this game and being a part of this charity event, raising money for NAMI, an excellent cause.
And we do have one quick donation before you go. Nicole has donated $25. As this absolutely amazing run comes to its end, I just want to say GG to Tom. Watching you route and perfect your run has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what else you do with it.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And I saw you donate like 3 other times, you absolute mad lad. So thank you so much for your continued support and obviously all the lovely donations to NAMI. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I think as this credit song comes to a close, I'll see you guys later.
And thank you one more time to amazing runner MechanalystTom for that great run. All right, and that wraps up my hosting shift. Thank you all for being here. Again, my name is Ashen Prime. We are going to take you into an ad, and when we come back from the end of that, we'll be on to your next host, who is Gar. So see you on the other side of this ad break.
Hello, everyone, and thank you all so much for tuning in to RPG Limit Break 2022. My name is Gar. I'm going to be your host for the next little while. I'm so excited to be here, and I hope everybody else can say the same. RPG Limit Break 2022 is coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which was formed in 1979 as a grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose children suffered with serious mental illnesses. NAMI has maintained that focus to this day. All right, everyone, we have just passed $10,000 raised for NAMI. Absolutely amazing job. Please keep up those donations. Thank you so much. And please, with your donations, don't forget about all the fantastic incentives that we have available for you. Final Fantasy X in particular has a bunch of naming options for the different Aeons, so if you want to have your name show up, please donate for that incentive. We have a $500 donation from Dragoon Zero, which says, Lord British must pay for his crimes. We have a $20 donation from Danky Kang. No comment, but thank you so much for your generosity.